Here are the black cards that I have from 10th edition. I bought a good lot of these cards for this set from somebody who tried to complete the set. And I'm going to buy a couple more packs and see if I can complete the set. Well, actually, buy a few more have a few more cards that I don't have, but there is just no way that I can complete the set unless I spent a pile of money. The set has 121 common, 121 uncommon, 121 rare. I've got all the commons. I'm missing 12 of the uncommons, but boy, I'm missing a boatload of the rares. So here is Lord of the Undead. Usually in Magic, cards that start with the word Lord tend to give all the creatures of that type a +1/+1 counters or some other benefit. And sure enough, Lord of the Undead is a zombie, 3-drop, 2/2. Other zombie creatures you get +1/+1. Now that means all zombie creatures, not just yours. I'd have to think about that. But either way, this card is a bona fide modern staple. I've seen it in tournament decks online. And for 1 and swamp, tap it. You can return target zombie card from your graveyard to your hand. Knight of Dusk, which is featured in some of the artwork, is a 3/2/2. And for an additional 2, you can destroy target creature blocking Knight of Dusk. It'd be great if you had like 4 or 6 mana and you had a couple of creatures trying to block Knight of Dusk, but I don't think anybody would be that stupid. Lord of the Pit is a demon 7/7/7 rare. And I think from what I read, the artwork for this card was part of a vote. Obviously, the selections were very limited because I don't happen to think this is particularly impressive artwork. But anyway, that's what happened. It's got flying and it's got trample. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature other than this card. If you can't, this card deals 7 damage to you. So you got to be really careful with Lord of the Pit because then you'll end up in his pit. One of the things that I really like about the core set is how they explain the abilities. So here you have this very long paragraph for flying and trample. Hidden Horror is a 3/4/4 uncommon. It's got to have some sort of a drawback. So when it comes into play, sacrifice it unless you discard a creature card. And there's your drawback. Mortal Kombat, great title. I mean, this couldn't be a better title. Reads like a junk rare, but a really, really fun one. Enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, if 20 or more creature cards are in your graveyard, you win the game. Of course, if 20 or more creature cards are in your graveyard, you're already half dead, so hopefully this thing will pull you from the brink and let you win the game. Highway Robber is a 4/2/2. When it comes into play, you gain 2 life and target opponent loses 2 life. It's a common. It's a nice card. Deathmark, which has fantastic artwork, in my opinion, is a 1-drop sorcery. Destroy target green or white creature. I think that could be very useful as a sideboard card if you find out your opponent has a lot of white or green. Looming Shade is a 3-drop 1/1, and as all shades are, it is capable of being pumped 1 black mana at a time, usually, for shades. So it gets +1/+1 until end of turn every time you pump it with 1. So that's really nice. I really like the shades, and it's only a 3-drop. Most shades are heavier than that. Underworld Dreams, which is only my favorite Magic card as far as artwork is concerned. I could make a 40-hour video just showing you this artwork. My own bias, of course, you'd probably be sick of it. But I happen to think this is, if not one of the most beautiful Magic cards ever made. Underworld Dreams is a 3-drop enchantment. Whenever an opponent draws a card, Underworld Dreams deals 1 damage to him or her. Not an earth-shattering card, just happens to have artwork that I find very, very appealing. Just totally so realistic and cool. Assassinate, 3-drop sorcery, destroy target tapped creature. It's a common. Mass of Gals is a 5/5/3 vanilla zombie, common. Afflict is a 3-drop. Target creature gets -1/+/-1 until end of turn, and you get to draw a card, which is great in black. Mind Rot, which is a card that needs no introduction. It has only been reprinted in, I think, pretty much every core set that I can think of. 3 drop, target player discards 2 cards. The current one has different artwork. This is a classic Mind Rot. Bog Wraith is a 4/3/3 with Swamp Walk. Uncommon, very nice artwork. No Rest for the Wicked, another card that I think has just totally amazing artwork. No Rest for the Wicked is a 2-drop enchantment. Sacrifice it. Return to your hand all creature cards that were put into the graveyard from play this turn. It's an ability that's found on many cards in Magic, and so it's not particularly outlandish and definitely not a modern staple, but boy, really like that artwork. Nantuko Husk was a reprint from a legacy card, part of a vote. I saw this on the Wizards website. It's a 3/2/2 zombie insect. Sacrifice a creature. This card gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Contaminated Bond, old school artwork, a 2-drop enchantment aura. Whenever enchanted creature attacks or blocks, its controller loses 3 life. Not bad. We've got one for 2 life right now. It's a 1-drop in, I think it's Dragon's Maze. Phyrexian Rager is a 3/2/2. When it comes into play, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. Not terrible. Distress, which now has new artwork, is a 2-drop sorcery. It's been a mainstay in core sets. Target player reveals his or her hand. You choose a non-land card from it. That player discards that card. I really love Distress. Plague Beetle, 1-drop, 1/1 with Swampwalk. Old school artwork. Dross Crocodile, which I think was a Meradan. It's a 4/5/1 vanilla. Plague Wind, junk rare. 9-drop, anything that's that large, unless it says you automatically win the game. It's just going to be a junk rare. Destroy all creatures you don't control and they cannot be regenerated. For a lot less, you can do that in other colors, of course. Dusk Imp is a 3/2/1 with flying. Old school artwork. Relentless Rats is a classic card in Magic. I think it is the only card that I know of in Magic that does not have a 4-of deck restriction. It's a 3/2/2. It gets this +1/+1 for each other creature in play named Relentless Rats. One of these days I'd love to play online and have like 20 of these things in one of my decks and see what happens. I have no idea what happens. I'm sure there's many ways to kill off one of these decks, because otherwise it'd be a modern staple, which it clearly is not. But a deck can have any number of cards named Relentless Rats, and I love the rats, so I couldn't be happier about having a Relentless Rats. Dredge Skeletons, a 2/1/1. You can regenerate it, and of course, I love this thing about 10th edition where everything is explained really, really well on the card. This set is perfect for beginners, but very imperfect for anybody trying to complete it, of course. Ravenous Rats, classic. I think Ravenous Rats originally came out in one of the Urza decks, one of the Urza expansions. Urza. 2/1/1, when it comes into play, target opponent discards a card. I've used this card in many, many decks. Essence Drain, which I think was recently reprinted, I think even in the Innistrad block, is a 5-drop sorcery. It deals 3 damage to target creature or player, and you gain 3 life. Very late player as a 5-drop. Royal Assassin, which I already have from my N12 redemption that I did online. Really interesting card. I haven't really played it, so I don't really know how good it is. It's clearly not a modern staple, but I'm sure it's a fun card. A 3/1/1, when you tap it, you destroy target tapped creature. Fear, 2-drop enchantment aura, gives a creature fear, which I think is similar to Intimidate. I'm not sure. Recover, 3-drop sorcery, old school artwork. Return target creature from your graveyard to your hand, and then you get to draw a card. For a 1-drop, you can get the same without drawing a card with Disentomb. Festering Goblin, I love the artwork. 1-drop, when it's put into a graveyard from play, target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. That's a very nice feature to have on a black 1-drop. Cruel Edict, 2-drop, target opponent sacrifices a creature. It's an uncommon. Grave Pact, I really like the artwork and the name. It's a whenever a creature you control is put into a graveyard from play, Each other player sacrifices a creature. I can see that being very nice if you're playing against people who have creatures. Rain of Tears is a 3-drop sorcery uncommon. Destroy target land. That's pretty good. Land destruction at 3 is very nice. Because I think Demolish in red is actually a 4-drop, if I remember correctly. Gravedigger is a 4-drop zombie 2/2. When it comes into play, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Nice, hence the name. Graveborn Muse, 4-drop 3/3, looks like a junk rare to me. At the beginning of your upkeep, you draw X cards and you lose X life, where X is the number of zombies you control. Yeah, it reads junk rare to me. Hate Weaver, 2/1 for 2. Target blue or red creatures get +1/+1/+1/+0 until end of turn. Clearly something that you can use in a blue-black deck, Dimir, or a red-black deck, which is these days is called Rakdos. Sengir Vampire, which has been reprinted in multiple core sets. I know I have it for Magic 2012 Redemption, is a 5/4/4 flyer. Whenever a creature dealt damage by this card, this turn is put into a graveyard. Put a +1/+1 counter on Sengir Vampire. I think it's a useful card. I love to play it. Terror, 2-drop, instant. Destroy target non-artifact, non-black creature. It can't be regenerated. I love the artwork on this card. I mean, this artwork is just amazing. I'm going to have to zoom it in so you can see it. How there's 3 views of the same person, completely, fully, with all skin, then without the skin, and then without anything but bones. That's really fantastic artwork. Okay, and we did it in Lucy autofocus. Vampire Bats. A bat, 1-drop, 0/1 flyer. Add 1 mana. Gets +1/+0 till end of turn. Play this ability no more than twice each turn. So it's limited in the way that shades are not. Midnight Ritual, X2 black. Remove X target creature cards in your graveyard from the game. For each creature card removed this way, put a 2/2 black zombie creature token into play. That's not bad. Actually, one of these days I want to build a deck that all it does is put 2/2 black zombie creature tokens into play. There's many cards in Magic that do that. I know Innistrad has at least like 4 or 5 of them. Grave Titan did that too in Magic 2012. Unholy Strength, enchant creature. Well described. It gets +2/+1 and it's a single 1-drop. It's a 1-drop. Diabolic Tutor, which was already, I think it was also in Magic 2012. Of course, a derivative of Demonic Tutor, which was an alpha, and I think it's a 2-drop, and of course is restricted in Vintage and banned pretty much everywhere else, I think. It's a 4-drop sorcery, and you can tutor for a card. That's where the name comes from, Tutor. It's a tutor card. It's called a tutor. There you go. Great zombie token that I love. This one specifically is the one from 10th edition. If you're a collector, you know or care. Necrotal is a 4/2/1 with first strike. When it comes into play, destroy target non-artifact, non-black creature. And that creature cannot be regenerated. And I'm also looking because I just read that exact same text in another card, and I wanted to find it. Well, just when you're looking for something is when you cannot find it. But I seem to have just read that. I think it was in a 1-drop card. Okay, well, we'll keep going. Okay, so Agonizing Memories is a 4-drop. Uncommon, look at target player's hand and choose 2 cards from it. Put them on top of that player's library in any order. Not so bad. Looks like a little difficult of a card to play. Spineless Thug, 2/2/2, and it cannot block. Soul Feast, target player loses 4 life and you gain 4 life, but it's a 5-drop. That's a little too late in the game. Skate Zombies, Thrall Surgeon are the last 2 cards. Now I'm running out of time.